Today, we take a look at the LEGO Star Wars Resistance Y-Wing Starfighter. What's going on? I'm so glad you're here today to hang out with me and check out this awesome LEGO Star Wars spaceship. This is the LEGO Star Wars Resistance Y-Wing Starfighter, and personally the Y-Wing has always been one of my favorite spaceships to ever come out of the Star Wars universe, especially the original trilogy Y-Wing. However, we're going to take a look at the Resistance one from the sequel trilogy, so we'll see how it is. Let's take a look at the box. Taking a look at the box, you'll immediately notice this awesome box art of the Y-Wing dropping some bombs, shooting some spring-loaded shooters, and that top turret shooting as well. This thing looks really cool, and I'm very, very excited to build it. We have our figures down here, all of our normal set information, our classic Star Wars box art starting in 2019. However, this is black and it has the Kylo Ren up in the top corner to signify that it is from the Rise of Skywalker movie. Now, on the back, we have a really, really cool scene with this awesome snowy planet with the Y-Wing sitting here. We've got Poe Dameron shooting a snowtrooper. We can see that it can actually drop some bombs. You can shoot the spring-loaded shooters. You can load those bombs. And you can even rotate the turret. We can also retract the landing gear, and I am very excited to see this thing up close. Let's get into the unboxing. So to get into the box, LEGO gives us these two thumb tabs. Now, personally, I think this is a pretty big box to have thumb tabs. However, LEGO has given us those anyways. Personally, I like to have the tape so it doesn't mess up the box. However, this is what we've got, so this is what we'll use. So for those of you that don't know, to open these, you just take your thumb, stick it in there, and you might have to kind of reinforce the box with your other hand. You get it in there, and then you get it in the other one, and you heard some of those parts. You just kind of flip this open and you can open it just like that, and I find that's kind of the cleanest way to get it so I don't just tear off these tabs. Now in the box we'll find bag of parts number 2, bag of parts number 1, the instruction manual, which is nice and upright. I really like how that actually kind of looks like a book instead of the kind of horizontal oriented normal LEGO instruction manuals. We have bag of parts number 4, bag of parts number 3, our sticker sheet, very red and white, that looks very cool, and that'll do it. Let's go on to the build. Now that we are finally finished, and I say finally because this thing took about 2 hours to build. Now that is a little while, however it was very fun, and it actually went by pretty fast because this was such a fun build. It comes with some great figures, and the cockpit section was especially fun. In fact, let's take a closer look. Taking a closer look at this awesome Y-Wing, you'll notice at the front that it is very smooth until you get to this kind of almost shelf, really kind of weird looking area, and that is pretty accurate to the actual in-universe version of this Y-Wing, and it's a little weird to me, but it's accurate, so I'm gonna let it slide. And just the back of it looks really nice. The stripes, all the stickers form up really nice, and most of them are right here. Now, moving towards the middle of this cockpit section, you have the cockpit itself, and you can just open that up. It's on these kind of ratcheted joints, so it's nice to be able to pose it just like that, and then you're able to have a really cool scene. However, if we open it all the way up, you'll notice inside of there we have a really nice little tan seat that doesn't have any studs in the bottom. However, the friction of the character sitting in that little area actually keeps it in place, and you're not going to lose their legs in the cockpit, which is really nice. We have a little console piece in there that is printed, so another sticker that doesn't have to be applied. And we also have kind of this dashboard section, which is actually detailed already. And one thing I really like about this kit is I can't think of any modifications I would make to it. It's near perfect in my opinion. Now we also have a little backrest, or headrest rather, back here, and this is the first time I've ever seen kind of a cockpit that's this complete from a LEGO Star Wars kit that's kind of the more playset kits instead of the rather than the UCS kits. They have a very detailed cockpit, but this one's very nice. Now the front cannons here are also very good. You can get these at slightly different lengths, however you just kind of push one in and pull one out if you need to, and you can get it to look really nice. In fact, I really like how this looks. It's just very smooth, and I just love how they've used these pieces to give it a very smooth look, and I really like it. Now, flipping it over, you'll notice that we have our landing gear. You can just kind of push those up, and these little gray pieces on the side just kind of stop those from going any higher, and it just works really nicely. You just kind of flip that up. It's again on the ratcheted joint, so you can kind of put it half up if you want to make it look like it's just taken off, and it's really cool. And another thing about this Y-Wing is the underside of the cockpit is way more finished off than I thought it would be, and it looks really nice. And another really nice thing is right in between those cannons, we have that cheese float piece going up right in between them, and it looks really nice. Now, right behind the cockpit, we've got the gun turret, and this can just kind of angle up and down. It can even angle behind itself, and you can just kind of spin that around. Now, there's no mechanism for it. However, it is very easy to just kind of spin around with your fingers. And a little fun fact is it can't quite go all the way forward just like this. It has to be kind of down like, or backwards, just to be able to go straight. Now, right behind the gun, we have our little droid slot. Now, you take our little really cool green droid and put him in there, and then just kind of push down, and that locks him in there so that he is not going to just kind of fall out. And it works really nicely, and that is a thing that LEGO has done with their droid slots. Now, the engines are also really nice. However, the kind of vane pieces that go back to this circle back here are really monotonous to build. The whole build is really fun until you get to this point, because you have to build 8 of these, and it's not like it's just like, oh, 2 pieces and you just throw it on. You can see a pretty well, like a good group of pieces that have to be assembled, and it just kind of gets boring after a while, but the end result is really nice. Moving on to the side of the engines, you'll notice that we have a really cool sticker print there. That is one sticker that wraps around this kind of half-cylinder piece, and it looks really good. And that is the same for the other side. Both of the engines are identical, so I'm going to show one. And right back here, you can kind of see that we have these pieces going towards this pink thrust piece, and these pieces can just kind of be pulled up if you want to. Maybe you can pretend to do some maintenance back there, and you shut that back. And we also have some nice ring details throughout here, along with a really nice red stripe. And instead of the dome front piece for the Y-Wing, we actually kind of get this little rounded off piece and then a steering wheel that creates a gray ring, and it just looks really cool and quite different, which I actually really like. Now, moving on to the back, you'll notice that we have more of those kind of pink thrust looking pieces, and that goes right connected to this kind of circle piece. And this, in the Star Wars universe, is how the Y-Wing can actually control itself. It uses the thrust and kind of vectors it with elevators and kind of a rudder in there, and it looks really cool. And I like that LEGO has obviously included these rings because it is a very key look to the Y-Wing. Moving on to the back, you'll notice this big knob. Now, this knob is not very accurate, or actually it isn't accurate to the Star Wars universe. However, it is cool because it contributes to a thing that is very accurate to the Star Wars universe, and that is if you twist it, it actually drops little bombs. Now, this is a very fun play feature, and once you've dropped all your bombs, you'll notice this hole in there to just kind of drop them back in, and you just kind of have to help them in there, and then you can actually fit 2 in there at once, so you can drop 2 bombs. It does come with a third, just in case you lose one of those, or you can just kind of drop one, throw the third in, and then drop the other 2, and make it seem like you have more of a bomb capacity. Now, right on the top, we have tons of details. We've got all these little, there's another play feature, the spring-loaded shooters. Just as you saw there, you just kind of push on top of them and they fire. Those are probably also going to get lost forever, so they do include a third. So, moving back to the top of it, we do have a bunch of details, and you can see that we have all these little arms, these little pieces here, a bunch of vents, and just a bunch of greebling that looks like it just doesn't have all of the panels like it may have in the Clone Wars, and it looks really, really cool, and I love that LEGO has put this much detail in the back of it. Looking closer into there, you can see that we actually kind of have a hinge piece hidden down in there, and I really like that LEGO has included that because it gives us kind of a sneak peek at what's actually inside of the Y-Wing. Now, I just really like that because it kind of gives us another area to kind of play like we're maintaining the ship, or it just kind of gives us another level of detail into the ship, and I really like how they've given us that. Now, kind of at the neck bit here, I'm going to call it the neck because this kind of looks like the head, and maybe these are like the arms, and this is kind of the torso. But the neck here kind of has these bits here that are just the 2 stud 4x1 plates / tiles, and these look really nice, and I like that they've done that along with these bar pieces surrounding the droid that just look like hosing from the cockpit to the main body section here. Now, I really like just how the whole thing looks, and I think LEGO has done a fantastic job. Now let's go on to the figures. Starting off our figures with the 2 droids included. On the left we have Dio, and he looks quite spiffy with his 3 kind of little eye prints there, the little green tip for the nose. We also have his little leg represented there as a print, and obviously the big thing in his bottom is his wheel, and on the other side you can just see kind of the other side of his wheel, and that's actually a lot more detail than I thought there would be, as well as this figure is much smaller than I thought it would be, and I really like that they've included it because it's a pretty cool little figure. Now, the other droid is our astromech droid, and it's just kind of I think it's an R5 unit. It could be an R2 unit with an R5 unit's head. However, it still looks really cool, and it's got the kind of green / teal or bluish green color, and that looks really nice. I like how they've done something different because there's not really any other green teal droids out there. So we also have the normal R5 head with the 3 eyes, or 3 audio or visual receptors, or whatever you want to call them. We also have no back print, but we do have a back of the head print, as well as a very nice, very detailed front print. Now let's move on to our antagonist. Our antagonist of the set, or bad guy, is a First Order Snowtrooper. He has a really cool blaster rifle there, and I believe it's a new Snowtrooper helmet mold, and this just looks really nice. We've got some nice metal printing on the kind of outlets here, and his visor looks very nice. The back of his helmet also looks very nice, and as well as the front print of his whole torso and legs also looks very nice. On the back we have a really cool cape that's kind of the scrufflier version of the LEGO capes, and underneath that is exactly what you would expect, and it is the back of his uniform. Nothing crazy, just a few lines. Starting off our protagonists, aka the good guys, with this Poe Dameron figure. It looks really nice. He's got a nice black headpiece, or hairpiece rather, as well as the Poe Dameron face print on the nice headpiece, as well as his really cool silver pistol. I really like that that's silver and not just kind of a generic gunmetal gray. He's got a very nice torso print, as well as a satchel piece, which goes on separate from the whole figure. That's not just molded on, so you can put that on your other figures as well. He has very nice leg print, as well as the back of his shirt on the back of his torso. Moving on to our next good guy, Zori Bliss. Now, in the movie, we don't really get a look at her face because we just kind of see the eyes. So Lego has put just kind of a black face, or rather a black head, underneath that helmet, and that is pretty nice. And I like that they didn't just put a generic female face and potentially get it wrong. Now we have a very, very nice gold and black dual molded helmet, and that is definitely a new piece. You can also get that in the Microfighters version of this Y-Wing, and she also, actually, this is the same figure as the Microfighters Y-Wing, so if you have that, there's not really a reason to get another one, unless of course you want this awesome Y-Wing itself. Now she does have her dual pistols, a very nice front print, and a very nice back print. Now let's go on to the overview. Overall, this is a really good kit. It comes with 5 really cool figures like Dio and this cool snowtrooper, and it's got a fantastic build packed with details and action features like the ability to drop your bombs and the ability to shoot the spring-loaded shooters. Now, that said, be sure to like, subscribe, be sure to leave a comment so I can figure out what you guys like, what you don't like, and let me know if you guys like this set as well, if you've had it before. Now, if you don't have it, be sure to check out the link in the description below. You can go get yourself one. It helps out the channel and it helps out you because you have an awesome Y-Wing. That said, this video is what YouTube recommends for you, and this is our Star Wars playlist. Go check it out, and I'll see you next time on Luclear Fusion.